wheels on the bus go round and round, yeah, round and round, yeah, round and round. The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. The people on the bus go up and down, up and down. People on the bus go up and down, up and down, all through the town. If you're rolling on the bus, then get your roll on. Everybody everywhere, get your roll on. If you're on your way to school, then get your roll on. If you love Joe City, then get your roll on. The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round. Come on, round and round. Come on. The wheels on the bus go round and round, yeah, round and round. Through your town, the wheels on the bus go swish, swish, swish.
Yo, what up? What's going on, folks? It's your favorite bus driver here, Mr. Reedus, and welcome to the Bus Driver Chronicles. We are back in action, man. Start of the school year is just 3 days away. I guess we could say 2 days away, however you want to put it. But we're here, man. We're at the top of the school year, so let's get it going, man. I hope y'all had an amazing summer. Really quick, as usual, you hop on, do me a favor, make sure you say hello, what's up, deuces, fingers, high waves, hit that like button, that heart button, that laugh button, that cry button, however you're feeling tonight, man. Go ahead and do me a favor and interact with the video. The more you interact with the video, the more eyes are on the video, the more people that can participate in tonight's conversation. I have quite a bit I want to share with y'all tonight. I do not want to be too long. It's the first Chronicles of the year. I know people have questions. I want to try to cover some things that will be beneficial and helpful for you parents and guardians, aunties, uncles, and all of you all out there that are concerned, this upcoming school year. So I want to be somewhat informative, but I also don't want to be long-winded. All right. So make sure when you're hopping onto the stream again, just speak to your boys, say hi, what's up, speak to each other, show some love in here. We're going to get started in just a moment.
Round and round, the wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. The people on the bus go up and down, up and down, up and down. The people on the bus go up and down, all through the town. If you're rolling on the bus, then get your roll on. Everybody everywhere, get your roll on. If you're on your way to school, then get your roll on. If you love Joe City, then get your roll on. The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. The wheels on the bus go round and round, yeah, round and round. Through your town, the wheels on the bus go swish, 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 swish. The wheels on the bus go swish, 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 swish.
All right, man. Let me make sure everything's up and moving like it should be. I haven't done this a little while here. Haven't touched it since I think like May or whatever when we ended the school year. So maybe let me make sure my stream is up. Make sure y'all up in here. What's up, Tamika? Again, y'all, as you're hopping here, do me a favor, say hello, speak to me, speak to whomever's on the stream tonight. Communicate with one another. All of this is for the whole Bus Driver Chronicles is just sharing my experience of what I go through as a bus driver, give you all a point of view, a POV that you may not otherwise see, but also to create a space for you parents and guardians and concerned citizens to speak about what you see specifically right now in these JCPS streets, Jefferson County Public Schools. I'm talking about the community, so I said Jefferson community. All right, before we hop in here, let me make sure I'm being polite. Speaking to people, Christina said, welcome back and happy belated birthday. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the happy belated birthday. It was an amazing birthday. I'll talk to you about that in just a second. What's going on, Ken? I hope you're doing great. Kijana, what's good, bro? Do y'all start back? Yes, we start back in school. What up, Big Brown? What up, Demetrius? What's going on? Hello, Judy. Hope you're doing all right. What's up, cuz? What up, Ty? Good to see y'all. Can't post messages or something. Okay, bad. All right, so man, I'm gonna I see y'all engaged, so I know y'all seeing the stream. If at any moment, do me a favor, if anything freezes, if I lose sound, if the quality diminishes, just let your boy know, because I can't see that on my end. Let me know so I can address it right then and there. I want to make sure that I am presenting good quality information, video, audio, all of that good stuff. So let's hop into tonight's stream. First and foremost, I hope each and every one of you had a great summer. I don't know what your summer looked like. If you're not in education, you probably were working the whole summer. So hopefully your kids didn't get on your nerves too much. If they were home the whole summer, hopefully you were able to send them off to a summer camp program, get them out the house. I know y'all ready to get them back in school. They was probably eating you out of house and home. Ain't nothing hungrier than a kid at home for summer break. So I get it. As for my summer, I actually did work a little bit at the top of the summer, did special needs, which was a very interesting experience, very rewarding experience, driving special needs. It wasn't just the benefit of having an air-conditioned bus in 90-degree weather, but it was really, really cool interacting with those specific children and their parents, seeing how they interact was really, really awesome. I've talked about that before, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it tonight. But what I want to do is just kind of hop into some things to expect for the school year. Really quick, somebody said happy birthday. I did have a birthday my birthday last week before last. July 25th was my birthday, so I think that's the week before last. Let me get my time together. But if you're following me on this good media of social, your boy took a couple vacations, was in Cancun one week, was in Costa Rica the next week, and I had the time of my life. Your favorite bus driver deserved it. Dealing with these beautiful, wonderful angels day in, day out. This guy still deserved the vacation, man. I had an experience like no other. It was my first time being out of the country, outside of Canada. I don't really count Canada. Canada's like a hop, skip, and a jump away. So it was an amazing experience. So I hope that whatever you did this summer, whatever vacations you took, I hope you and yours had an amazing time. Spend some time loving on each other, experiencing new things, all of that good stuff. And now it's back to reality, back to life. Back to reality. So here's a few things I want to discuss tonight. And trying to decide how I want to piece it all together. I think I'm just going to hop into it. So, as this is coming up for me, there we go. Your comments. I'm trying to make sure I keep track of your comments here. My little overlay being extra for me today. There we go. Boom. All right, I'm gonna do it a different way. So I got y'all live comments. Boom. Awesome. All right, so this upcoming school year, man. So if you're not aware, hopefully you're aware, school starts this Thursday, which is August the 8th. School starts this Thursday, August the 8th. Not a couple of people, every single person I've come across have asked me, so what do you think about the new school year? How is it? So let me just hop right into it and say this. I have full confidence that this year will be leaps and bounds better than last year. If you are not familiar with what happened last year JCPS went through a new routing system called the Alpha routing system, and it was a disaster. The first day of school was so bad they delayed school for almost 2 weeks in order to correct some things. When we got back, still wasn't all the way great, but we suffered through it and made it through the school year. Well, this year we were like, we're not doing that, okay? So at the end of this past school year, JCPS rolled out a new transportation program, which has eliminated several schools from receiving transportation through JCPS, mostly traditional magnet schools. So a lot of schools no longer have transportation, which all of you parents knew about back in May. Give me a time out really quick for a little bit of a rant. One of the biggest annoyances that I've had the past probably week or two is the amount of posts that I've seen from parents asking if their school has transportation or not. I'm not in any way indicating that you're not a good parent. You're probably, I'm hoping that you are a good parent, but let me say this. You're not doing well in this area. In this specific area, you have failed. If you are the week before school, the week of school, not knowing whether or not your child has transportation to their school, you're not doing well. I need you to do better, because you knew this back in April or May. You've had 3 months to prepare for this week, for this day. And I'm gonna leave it there for now, because there's plenty more to discuss. So let's move forward. So that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with the new routing system. Now, this routing system is very similar to how it used to be. I will say this: most of us bus drivers are so much more relieved this school year because our routes are more familiar to us. They're in the areas that our compounds are located, usually probably within about a 5 to 10, maybe at most 15-mile radius from our compounds, which is different than last year because last year we were all over the city. I can speak specifically for myself. My compound is Lee's Lane, which is on Cane Run Road. I was going all the way out to Ferda Elementary School, which is on National Turnpike. If you're not familiar with Louisville, that is a good 20 plus miles away. Then I'm going from there all the way, hopping on back on Gene Snyder and hopping on 65 to go to Central High School, which is downtown Louisville, dropping those kids off, hopping back on 65 and Gene Snyder to go out Mount Washington. That was every single day. And that was just the morning. So it was terrible. Let there be an accident. Let there be inclement weather. Trash. So this year, a lot of us drivers are over the moon. We are elated that the system is a lot more favorable, at least for us. It's less tasking for us. We're back to mirroring. Most routes are mirrored, so we have the same kids in the morning as we do in the afternoon, which last year we did not have that. The worst part about that was the inability to build rapport with your students and their parents because you have a different set of kids from the morning and the afternoon. You don't really, and then the schedule was so tight. We really didn't have time to talk with our kids, build rapport because we're boom, 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 getting them here and dropping them off, picking up, dropping off, picking up, so on and so forth. It was ridiculous. So much so, we also did not have layovers as bus drivers. So we really didn't have opportunities to step off the bus, to step inside for a bathroom break, to step off the bus, to build any type of rapport or relationship with the teachers, with the administrative staff to better aid and support the students. We had none of that last year. So it was not good. This year, much different. This year, the way it's set up, we've been simulating our routes for the past 2 weeks. So we are getting very familiar with our routes. We're seeing our times, so on and so forth. The times are a lot better. The layovers are a lot better, which give us moments of rest in between routes. Also moments to actually step inside the school to speak with the staff. So that has improved, and that's a benefit on the bus driver side. Okay, I'm just speaking from the bus driver side for just a moment. Just so y'all know, your boy, my bus is 1944. I will be driving 1944 this year. My schools are Wellington Elementary, Gudermuth Elementary, and Dawes High School. Only have 3 schools this year as opposed to 7 schools that I had last year. 3 schools this year. Man, it's a beautiful thing. So those are the schools that I'll be driving for. If your child is riding on my bus, hit me up. Let us build that rapport. If you have any questions, I got you. Of course, as you know, I'm going to take care of your child. But we'll have a talk in just a moment about what I expect from your child. All right. So those are a few little things. Let me hop in the comments really quick, see if anyone said anything that I need to address before I move on. She said it's still your birthday. Hey. And technically we're in August, but I'm still celebrating. Anybody want to send me a gift? Feel free. I'm still accepting. Let's see here. Whole month in August. Bet. All right. Yeah, 7 schools was a whole monster. It's not too uncommon to have 3 to 5. But some schools, like I said, you have 3. You may have 2 or 3 runs out of one school, which fills in the time. So it just depends on what it looks like. All right, bet. So let's move on. I want to hop into some tips really quick. Now, really quick, I'm before anyone be like, I don't know if he's going to talk about what I want to talk about tonight. I'm hopping to some tips. I'm going to talk about expectations on the bus and bus stops, and I will be talking about the temporary restraining order that has been filed against JCPS. I will be hopping into that in just a moment. Hang out with me for just a little bit. It's the first Chronicles of the year. Let's get through some formalities. All right, get to know me a little bit if you're new to the Chronicles. So I want to hop into some tips really quick, and I'm going to make a post about this too, so it can be etched right there for you to see. Tips. Tip number 1. And the parent, guardian, whomever's responsible for that kid getting to school or children getting to school, please get your child familiar walking to and from the bus stop. Okay, so that responsibility, of course, falls totally on you. So you need to know where the bus stop is and what time the bus stop is in both the morning and the afternoon. There are several resources for you to do this. You can hop on the JCPS website and you can go to bus teller, Bus teller, you have to, if you don't already have a JCPS login, you have to create one, and you log in with that information. And all you have to do is put in the school and your address, and it will show you where your child's bus stop is. It will show you where it is, as well as what time it comes in both the morning and should be the afternoon as well. So you should know where those bus stops are. What I would strongly encourage you to do is to tomorrow, Tuesday, and Wednesday, just get up at some point in time of the day, walk your kid to and from the bus stop a few times, especially if your child is in elementary school. More specifically, if they're in elementary school, maybe middle school, high school, they should have the wherewithal to know where they're going. But if you know your kid and you know they might need a walk, do what you got to do. But walk them to and fro so they're familiar with their surroundings, so they know what they see when they walk from home to the stop, and they know what they see when they get off the bus to walk home. The amount of kids that were lost, the amount of kids I had on my bus, and I'm trying to drop them off, and they're like, I don't know where I'm at. I don't know where I am. I don't know how to get home. Da, 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 da. This was a big attribute to the chaos that happened last year. It wasn't just the system itself. It was the lack of preparation that these children had, knowing how to get to and from the bus stop to home. So this is one major tip that I would strongly encourage you to do over the next 2 days. Just do it a few times. Hey, Jenny, hey, Bob, whatever your kid's name is, and let's walk to the bus stop. So this is what you'll see. You'll see this house, this street. Let's walk back. Let's do that a couple of times. If you want to be real with it, do it in the morning when they're going to be walking to their stop, because it may be dark. Get them familiar to walk. Whatever you got to do, please prepare your child to be ready for that first day of school and moving on, okay? So that's tip number one. Tip number two, make sure your child, your angel, your loved one, knows, first of all, their first and last name. I know that sounds like a given, but trust me. Make sure they know their first and last name. Make sure they know your name, your first and your last name. I understand some of you parents have a different last name than your child. So make sure they know what your last name is, at least, but hopefully also your first name as well. So the two things they should know. They should know their phone number. When I say their phone number, I'm talking about your phone number. They should know a contact number for the bus driver to school to call in case of emergency. Now, granted, all this information should already be with us as bus drivers and be with the school, but there are some parents and some things that take place. I'm not even gonna say just parents, things on the administrative staff that may have fallen short, where there may be a number or a name that's missing or something like that. So the more your child knows, the better. Okay, but make sure they know their name, your name, phone number, and their address. Okay, those are just 4 things that I would strongly encourage. If your child doesn't already know, that you begin to work on with them to help them memorize those things. Okay, if there's any case of emergency, if you're on a sub bus and the contact information was on a previous bus, if they don't have their tag, things like that, anything can happen at any moment. So if they know these things, it could be very crucial and very beneficial in any instance. Okay, with that, all of your kids will receive a tag that will go on their backpack. Okay, for kindergarten students, it's a red tag. For all other students, I'm 98% sure it's a yellow tag. Even the high school kids will receive tags this year. Make sure your child is being responsible and making sure that tag is on their backpack, on their wrist, whatever it's going to be on, preferably their backpack, because they always have it with them. But make sure it is on their person. Okay, those are identifiers for us to know who they are getting on and off the bus, especially for kindergarten students. And I'm gonna speak about that in just a moment. But here's the thing: your kid will not be permitted to ride the bus after that first day if they do not have a tag. Okay, we're putting a great responsibility on the schools, telling the schools that that first day we are not permitting any student to get on the bus to go home if they do not have a tag. We're not permitting them to get on the bus, so the schools knows that's their responsibility to make sure all those students are tagged. If they try to put a kid on my bus that doesn't have a tag, their kid will be denied transportation. That school will have to provide a way for them to get home. Point blank, period. Okay, but make sure your child has a tag on their backpacks and it stays there. If that backpack breaks, if they decide to leave it at school or wherever, you need to have a contingency plan to make sure that tag is with them whenever they're planning on riding the bus. Okay, I cannot stress that enough. I'm saying it Please hear me. Please adhere to that tip and that piece of advice. All right. What else? I already talked about the Bus Teller app, JCPS website. Also, Edulog. Download that app. So that app also, Edulog helps you track the buses on the GPS. So it helps you track to see where that bus is in comparison to where the stop is. Excuse me. So it helps you track the bus in motion. Now, let me say, app. It is technology. Technology is subject to malfunction or to not work properly, however you want to put it. Okay, so don't put all of your trust in it. Sometimes there may be a delay in it updating. Sometimes if a bus breaks down and they have to switch buses, there's a possibility that that bus number is not updated in the app. So you may not be seeing that bus move because they're on a sub bus, a substitute bus. Things happen, okay? But it's still a good tool to use for you to have an understanding and idea of where the bus is in comparison. Now, let me say this to those of you, especially, that you've downloaded the app for your children, so on and so forth. I'm saying this in love. Please, 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 please understand this very strong principle about riding the bus. Your child is supposed to be at the bus stop 5 minutes prior to the stop time. 5 minutes. Where's that camera? Where's that right? 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 minutes prior to the time of their stop that's on that's designated to them. They should be at that bus stop. I promise you, and I can speak specifically for me. If they are there 5 minutes prior to that stop, they will never miss the bus. Ever miss the bus, okay? 5 minutes prior to the stop sign, okay? The reason why I'm saying that right here is because a lot of these kids are using the app and they're trying to use the app to determine where the bus is and trying to time it to get there right on time. And ask any kid right now, ask any of my kids how many times they got left because they weren't there. They were trying to say, oh, okay, he's here. Let me try to get. No, just be there 5 minutes. You might be waiting a little long. That's the name of the game. It's a bus stop. Okay. The bus stops, picks up, and goes. The bus does not pull up and wait. Understand that. Okay. You are the one that waits. When you engaged in this privilege that's being offered to you, yes, you might be waiting a little while. There might be traffic. There may have been an accident. You never know. So you might be waiting, but that's just the name of the game. If you want to take advantage of this privilege that's being offered to you, that's what comes with it. All right. Please understand that. Talk to your kids about being prompt, because I am that bus driver. I will leave you. Other bus drivers will leave. If your stop time is 9:22 and we pull up at 9:21, now I'm the one that I'll wait till 9:22 till it hits. That's me. I'm gonna wait. Boom, cool. If I see your kid walking, just strolling to the bus stop, no hustle, no nothing. I can't put in this up. I'm not waiting on you. I'm not. You better jog, leap, run, sprint, whatever. I'm telling you right now, if I don't see no hustle so you get to that bus stop, I am pulling off. There's 9 kids that got picked up. 7 of them are on the bus. 2 of y'all chilling. 2 of y'all finding another way to get to school. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. I'm not going to dwell on it any further. Teach your kids some responsibility. All right. That first week or two, I'm the type of person, I'm reasonable, or maybe a level of leniency so they'll get used to when the bus will be there, so on and so forth. I'm fair. Most of us are fair. Some of us are. There are fair bus drivers out there. That's cool. But I'm telling you right now, man, we're not chilling. We're not waiting. Your kid will get left, and they will eventually learn how to call a Target or Uber or whatever. That's call a Target, catch the Target, Uber or whatever, and that's how it'll look. Let me take a quick little pause. I've been talking for a minute. Let me hop into the comments to see if anybody has anything to say, any questions. I think everybody's chilling, just watching and listening for their part to come. Really quick, Ron Sanders, do you think schools like Manual will get buses? I have no idea. I'm not even going to hop into trying to answer that question. I have no idea. I have no inkling, no information, no clues as to what schools may get buses. As the year progresses, I don't know. So just be prayed up, be attentive, and I'll talk about that in just a second about utilizing your resources. Okay, all right, more tips. Parents, if you, especially if you are walking your kid walking your child to the stop. Most parents do it maybe the first couple of days of school, first week or so. Introduce yourself to the bus driver. Don't just stand off to the side and send your kid up. Introduce, at least if you're riding my bus, I would love to meet you, know your name. That way we can have some type of cordial interaction, build a little rapport as the year progresses. I can give you some reassurances of who I am as a bus driver, so on and so forth. I think it's just a good idea especially if you're going to be there every day, or just that one time, it's just say, hey, I'm Kenny's mom. If he acts up, if he does anything, you've got my number. Feel free to call me. Da 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 da. That gives us a reassurance that you are engaged and involved and proactive and just active in your child's life. That means the world to us as bus drivers. Okay, when we know we have parents that don't play no games, that are there to make sure their child's behavior is up to code on our buses, that goes a long way. And I reciprocate that same type of energy. You show me that you care, I'm going to show you that I care, and I'm going to do my best to make sure your child's experience is one of the best experiences they've ever had on a school bus, as long as they follow my rules. Moving to the next part. There are rules on the bus. Okay, there's some staples on the bus that is listed on the bus. It says no food, no eating or drinking on the bus. Stay in your seat, no throwing anything out the window. Common sense stuff. No use of profanity. Keep your hands to yourself. For our elementary school kids, they will have assigned seats. So me to you as a parent, guardian, please speak with your children, talk with them, make sure they understand what authority looks like outside the home. Make sure they understand that there are authoritative figures outside of mama, daddy, auntie, uncle, guardian, whoever's at home, and the family, whatever. Make sure they understand that when you give them over to us, that we are the people that are in charge of them. We are the people that are in charge of getting them to and fro. We are the disciplinarians, so on and so forth. Okay, so make sure they understand that whatever rules that we set in place, that they need to follow those rules. And if they do not follow those rules, there are consequences for not following those rules. There are consequences on that bus, and I hope there are consequences at home to reinforce those bus rules. I hope. I don't, you're the parent that you are, however you discipline, however you train, teach your children, that's totally up to you in your household. But the better at it that you are at home, the more well-behaved your child usually is at school, which makes our jobs a lot easier. It makes the experience of other children a lot more pleasurable, so on and so forth. So please, do your due diligence, do your part, and making sure that you understand the rules on the bus, and that as we enforce them on the bus as well as in school, that you are at home supporting us in enforcing those rules. Okay, I'm not gonna stay on there too long, but most of us understand that one of the biggest reasons for the bus driver shortage to begin with is student behavior. A lot of these drivers are saying, nah, I can't do it, I won't do it, I refuse to do it, because of the lack of support that some people get from the school system, the hands that are tied in some different administrative roles that can only do so much with certain children, the lack of accountability, in those positions, as well as home, the neglect that happens in some homes. It's a big issue, which is why, one of the biggest reasons why there's a bus driver shortage to begin with. But we talked about this all last year. I'm not going to dive into this heavy tonight. I'm just hopping on that, hopping out. All I'm going to say is, please discipline your children in a manner that aids in supporting authority inside and outside of the home. Okay? All right. Respect authority. Follow the rules. All right. Moving on. Get some water really quick. I'm doing on time. Okay, bet. Bus stops. Let's start with this. Parents, if you're dropping your kids off, or if they're walking to school, however it's happened, please make sure your kids are on time. If you're dropping them off, please be on time. Please be consistent with being on time. getting them there, especially though picking them up, more so specifically kindergarten students. Kindergarten students have to have an authoritative figure, representative that we have on file to pick them up from the bus stop. We cannot allow a kindergarten student to just get off the bus and go home. The only way we're allowed to do that is if there's a written statement from the parent or guardian that says that you are permitting your child to walk home. We have to have that in writing, signed. We keep a copy on the bus. We keep a copy at the compound. So if you are the parent or guardian of a kindergarten student and you know that there will be days that you cannot pick them up and you feel safe and comfortable with them walking home, then you can make that decision just giving us permission to do so. If that is not the case, if your child is too young, if the neighborhood is not giving you the comfort to allow them to do that, then you have the responsibility of being there on time, day in, day out, not once or twice a week, not here and there, so on and so forth. Okay, that's one of my biggest pet peeves, especially last year as a driver. I had several kindergarten students, and it was out of one school in particular, it was just about every day I'd have 1 to 2 or 3 parents are not at the stop, and I'm on time. I'm not early, I'm not super late, I'm there, consistent. And the amount of times they're not there and I've got to wait around, I got to go and finish out the rest of the run and come back and hoping somebody got to call the compound, or if they're not there, then I got to go drop them off at another compound that takes me out my way. Now I'm late to my next school. It's a domino effect when you're not responsible. Okay, you hear me, parent? You hear me, guardian? Guardian, when you're not responsible to be there to pick up your child, it doesn't just affect your child or just that, but it's a domino. It affects all the other parents that are waiting for the bus to come so they can pick up their kids. Now I'm 15, 20 minutes late because we're waiting on you to get there, or whomever you're going to see, and so on and so forth. It's a whole thing, man. So please, 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 please be responsible. You've known that your kid is in kindergarten for months now. If they just started or if they've already been in kindergarten, you know how the process works. Don't be that parent. Okay, and just so you know, give you a heads up, they are putting rules and regulations in place where if your kid is not picked up on time at a certain amount of times, they're going to. This is what I read. I'm going to say this. This is what I read. I got to find the source, and I'll give you the source. But they're going to be rules put in place that if it happens so many times, then they're going to expel that kid from school to put them in another school that is more conducive to the schedule that you need to pick them up. Because we can't keep doing that. That's unfair to us. It's unfair to the other children. It's unfair to the school system. This is a privilege we're providing for you, and you are abusing it in the worst way when you're not on time. Okay? So do what you need to do as a parent, whatever you need to do with your job, so on and so forth. Provide the proper time to be there. All right? I talked about that a little bit longer than I needed to or wanted to, but I needed to. Let's see here. Be on time, be consistent, picking them up. This is... I think I'm going to create a separate post for this, but I'm going to talk about it. Give me a minute and a half. Bus stop sign procedure. Bus stop sign procedures. Okay, so understand this really quick is school is in session. So that means you're going to start seeing buses out on these streets. You know about the time the buses are picking up and dropping off. If you don't know, let's talk about that really quick. Start times are 7:40, 8:40, 9:40. Those are the times in the morning. Those are the times that the school starts. So anytime between about 6 and we'll say 10 a.m. roughly, there are going to be buses out there, maybe 10:30, 11, buses out there picking up students. Okay? Understand that. Between 6, let's even go 5:30 to about 10:30, 11. Buses are out on the streets picking up students. In the afternoon, the end times, I believe, are 2:10, 3:20, 4:20. So let's say from 2 till about 6:30, buses are dropping kids off, okay? If you're going to be traveling in that time span, which is basically the whole day, understand you might get caught behind the bus. Be alert, be attentive, okay? Let's talk about the bus. When you see a bus, when you see the lights at the top start flashing yellow, orangish, that means the bus is about to pick up or drop off. It's about to come to a stop. Okay? And guess what? As it's drawing to that stop, there are kids looking at the bus, possibly crossing the street, possibly walking up from the same side of the street, so on and so forth. And these are children that are always paying attention to where traffic is and what cars are doing. So you as a driver needs to be extra attentive that this bus is coming up to a bus stop and kids are going to be somewhere in and around it. So you need to be alert and aware. When you see those yellows, slow your butt down. Go ahead and get ready to stop. I strongly encourage you, don't even try to pass the bus before it stops. Just go ahead and take that L, if you will. Bring your car to a stop to allow those kids to cross wherever that, because I'm telling you, even though you're thinking you're surveying, you know, wherever a kid may come from, you don't know. So let's just be responsible. The rule of thumb, the rule is 20 feet from the back of the bus. If you're behind the bus, 20 feet from the back of the bus. If you're in front of the bus, 20 feet from the front of the bus. If you're not good at measuring feet, 20 feet, 30 feet, go ahead and add an extra 10. If you're not good at it, just create a greater distance just to be on the safe side. Okay. And this is from the back or front of the bus, not from the stop sign. Do not pull up to the left side of my bus, all the way up to that stop sign on the side. You stop. Talk like this. You stop 20 feet behind the back of my bus. Pay attention. Okay? 20 feet behind the back of the bus, 20 feet front of the bus if you're coming the opposite direction. Is that understood? It's not that complicated. Pay attention. Get off your phone. I will drive a special, not even just driving special needs, driving a bus, period. Y'all have no idea how often people run our stop signs, man. And it is the most nerve-wracking, upsetting, frustrating thing that you're just that's so negligent, that's so reckless, that you just feel like wherever you got to go is that important that you can't stop to ensure the safety of these children. Blows my mind. Right now, I'm going to do what I did last year. If I happen to catch posting it with the make and model of your vehicle, if I see your face, I'm going to describe what you look like too. I'm posting it. Watch me. I'm not going to encourage anybody to do anything to you or to that car, but if something happens to it, hey, stuff happens. But I'm just letting you know, there has to be consequences and repercussions, because the thing of it is, even if we catch the license plate, we send it in. If it wasn't seen happening by an officer, not much is going to get done. So I'm just putting it out there, yo, please do me a favor, y'all, this year. Be attentive on the road. Understand the rules, okay? Understand the difference between and I'm sorry, I skipped the part. You see the yellows, this means we're stopping. When those reds start flashing, that means the bus has stopped. The stop sign has come out and kids are loading. Okay? That is definitely not the time to try to edge closer or drive past anything like that, because kids are actively loading the bus when you see those reds. There's stop indicators mean everything on top of the bus. Okay, you see the flashing yellows, we're slowing down. That's warning you the bus is slowing to a stop to pick up or drop off. When the red's off, we are engaged in picking up and dropping off students. Okay, the lights in the middle of the bus, like the turning signals, those are our hazards. We're either turning or the hazard light. Hazards are the same for any vehicle. It just means to be attentive. If you're planning to pass, be watchful. 9 times out of 10, we'll probably pull off to the side. Something may have happened. You can pass safely in a slow manner, just like you would with any other vehicle. Understand this: buses stop at railroad crossings. And that's typically when we put our hazards on. Railroad crossings, if you know you're coming across the railroad, understand the bus is going to stop. We got to open our door, look both ways, and safely cross. That's what it is. Understand how that goes. All right. All right. Enough of that little bit of rant. Let me hop into here really quick. Let's see here. Kijana said, was running my route today before school starts. There were no students on the bus, but people were still running stop arm. Yeah. Same with me. There were several people stopped. Several people just kept on going. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna move on. If you are someone who even has a heart, if the unfortunate incident occurs that you strike a child, and in that child's life, and or injure that child that will change your life forever, the stain that will have on your heart and soul, the guilt that you will have that you have to live and walk with, that will change your life as well. You're not just hindering, you're not just affecting the life of that child and their family and their friends, but yours as well. 30 seconds. 30 seconds to a minute that it takes to stop and wait for a bus to pick up and drop off. That's all it is. That is all that is. There's nothing that you're heading to or heading from that is that important that you can't wait that 30 seconds to a minute. Nothing. A child's life is not worth that. Is that what you're telling me? You're that negligent. You care so little. Don't be that person, man. I would hate that for the child. I would also hate that for you. So just be attentive, man. That's my last little PSA, little heart to heart about that. Okay, let's move on. All right, this is the last thing I'm gonna talk about tonight. I'm gonna hop off here. Last 15 minutes. I want to stay under an hour, so we're gonna stay under an hour. If you're still with me, rock with me, say what's up, say hi, do me a favor, please. Like, heart, smile, laugh, the stream, share it, whatever you want to do. Even if someone doesn't watch it tonight live, they can see it tomorrow because it'll come across their newsfeed because they saw that you engaged with it. Comment on here, whatever you want to do. Any comments that I'm missing, I'll be sure to hop into the comments later. They're as live as they can be, but sometimes I'll miss them as I'm talking. We're going to move on in just a moment. I'm going to answer a question. Christina said, does your county have cameras? Yes, we have cameras. But as far as somebody running the stop, even if we report that camera, it's nothing's going to happen. Because for one, the bus driver has to follow. We would have to show up to court, so on and so forth. From my understanding, the way it works, there's all this extra stuff that you have to do, this extra energy that you have to put into it. And it seems someone wants to put that energy in. So the cameras are mainly for the monitoring of student behavior, bus driver behavior, and any car accidents that may happen. So you got the front camera that will catch any accidents that if you hit a car, if they run into you, so on and so forth. You have several cameras on the bus that monitor the student behavior. We also have a camera right in the driver's faces. Let's talk about that for a second before we move on. There's a new camera that's been added to the buses that monitors specifically the drivers. So this is to ensure that drivers are not on their phones. They're not on their devices like their smartwatches. They don't have headphones in. They're not doing things that are against the rules and regulations of JCPS, making sure they're not cussing out any kids or inappropriate language or conversations, things like that. So understand, while we're monitoring these children's behavior, we are also holding our drivers accountable for their behavior while kids are on and off the bus. Just throw that little piece out there right there to give anyone peace of mind that was wondering. All right. Last thing of tonight, TRO. The TRO's temporary restraining order that has been filed against JCPS by two parents. Two parents over the summer back in June, filed a TRO against JCPS, basically claiming that the new system, the dismissing or the dismembering, if you will, of the transportation provided to certain schools are disproportionately creating issues for people of color. So basically they're saying, hey, this system is affecting people of color at a disproportionate rate as it is other schools. So basically it's saying that, hey, our kids cannot go to the schools they want to because they're not getting the transportation that they need. And it's only affecting certain demographics. So they have chosen to, I believe, sue JCPS. They've got the temporary restraining order set out that is currently being reviewed by a judge. If this goes through, yeah, we'll see what happens. According to the news article that I read, it said it'll take the judge a couple of weeks to come back with a ruling. If the judge goes in favor of the plaintiffs, then it may have to be a new overhaul of what JCPS has done with the current bus routing system. If that happens, according to Polio, it's going to be a huge shift for which we have to go back and redo everything, which, according to the report, would cause for the students to be out of in-person school, at least out of transportation, until November of this year. If the judge rules in favor of the plaintiff. If the judge rules in favor of JCPS, then the system that we have right now is good to go. There'll be no issues. That's according to what I read, what I saw in the report. I know a lot of people are already like, oh, we're not going back to school. JCPS has already sent out a notification that, yes, we are going to be in school this week. In the coming weeks, I can't really speak to that. I'm only going to speak to what has been made available to us thus far. Let me read a little bit of what I wrote so I'm not missing anything that I said. But yeah, just polio, just reassuring that we'll be in school this week, and we'll just have to see what the judge rules. Now, let me say this. A lot of work has been put in the past several months from our routing coordinators, which were new positions created specifically to set up the routing system for this year. A lot of work has been put in. They've done their thing, and from what I've seen at our compound, from the simulating different routes over the summer to make sure the routes are good, it's a really good system. It's created space for drivers to get to where they need to go without the pressure of being on time, without having to deal with this, that, and the other, traveling all the way across town, dealing with that additional traffic, so on and so forth. The drivers are back in kind of their reside, if you will, locations. So a lot of the drivers, I would argue probably almost just about all the drivers, are very pleased with this system because it alleviates the strain that we had last year. Because it's like we not only had to deal with the student behavior, the issue that we had there, but now on top of that, we had this new routing system that gave us no type of reprieve, no type of breaks between our runs, no type of opportunity to build a push. It was just overall just a taxing situation. So I personally am pleased with what they've come up with. It is very beneficial to the drivers. Now, on the other end of that, I understand the frustration with parents who want their kids to attend certain schools that are not in their area. So that means they have to find other ways for the children to get to school. That is an unfortunate situation to have to deal with. But I'm also have to be of the understanding that the transportation is a privilege. It is not a mandate. It's not something that JCPS has to do. JCPS does it as a part of the privilege. Now, of course, there's also money involved in it and all of that, so on and so forth. But I will say, y'all could be mad at me, you can disagree with me. But while I am not a parent, I know several parents. I've been a child. I've seen what my mother had to do. I've seen what my aunts and uncles have had to do, grandma, so on and so forth, for their children. And if you are the parent of a child and you want them to go to a certain school, then it's on you to do whatever you need to do to make that happen. Whatever that looks like legally. If that means, teaching your child how to ride the TART, if that's doing the Uber, if that's finding alternative transportation opportunities, if it's moving, I know of a few people that are in the process of moving so they can be in an area that their child will have their reside school. I know people that moved years ago so they can be in an area so they wouldn't have to deal with this type of thing. So whatever that looks like for you, if you are that, hard pressed, if you're that serious about, I want my kid to go to this school, so on and so forth, you will make it happen. There's no system that is fair to everybody all the time. And I also understand how a lot of us feel about the situation, and that's fair. A lot of your feelings are valid, straight up. But now it's time to deal with reality of the situation. This is the reality. This is the reality we've known about for several months now. So since it all started to come to fruition, you've had months to start planning for this happening. You knew it was coming. So if you've been spending the past few months hoping something would change and have not busted your butt to do what you needed to do to make sure that in the event this reality will continue to be, I don't know what to say to you. Like you're falling short. I feel like I'm being mean. I don't know if I am or not. If I am, y'all forgive me. I'm just speaking. Forgive me if I'm crossing anybody, if I make you feel away about what I'm saying. My apologies. I'm not trying to come for you. I'm just saying that's just reality of the situation. When reality is presented to you, all you can do is face it, deal with it, and move forward. And it's where we are. I'm done. Hope I don't lose anybody on that. If so, y'all can holler me. If you feel away, I'm open dialogue. We can talk about it. And if you come for me and I'm like, you know what, you're right, I'll take the L. I'll say, I'll apologize. I'll say, you know what, maybe I was out of order. That's cool. It'll be what it is. But yeah, so that's what's going on there. But right now, as it is, we're going to be back in school on Thursday. If you're curious about the whole TARC situation, I believe we recruited, I think it's like 70 TARC drivers, but only about 15, between 15 and 20 are eligible to drive right now to assist for any of the drivers that might be out, any shortages, so on and so forth. So they are recruiting TARC drivers, but I think maybe about 15 of 70 are ready to drive right now. So I'm assuming that number will grow as the days and the weeks come in, as they get the proper training, so on and so forth. So we'll see what that will look like. Water's delicious. Let me hop in the comments really quick before I log up off here, see if I missed anything. Again, if I missed a comment, a question, anything that you said, I promise you I will go back into the comments either tonight or tomorrow and engage to answer any questions or just to see what y'all talking about. I'm seeing several comments that I have missed, and that's not cool. Let me see here. I preach you and I may read you. Wish either happy to talk to. Someone said, not being mean, but you don't have all the information either. Cool. Happy to talk though. Bet. Taryn, let's dialogue. Anything that I'm missing, let me know. I only know what I know. I only know what I found, what I researched so far. And I am not, let me say this really quick. I'm not the end all be all. I'm not the person who has all the answers or all the information. I get as much information as I can to be as informative as I can. Sometimes I'll miss things. If that's the case, y'all hold me accountable. Let me know what I might have missed, and then I will try to share that information after I have vetted it, which moves me on to my next thing really quick before we hop off here for the night. Woo! Y'all do me a favor, man. As a society, as a people on this good old social media application, when you read something on the internet, take a moment. I promise you, a simple Google search will help you come to find whether or not what you read or saw is true or false. Stop seeing people's posts and taking them as absolute truth. Please stop reading someone's post and just immediately commenting on it and sharing it as though it is absolute truth. Take a moment, not even just in this JCPS stuff, not even just in this busing stuff, in life, period. The stuff that y'all started sharing about the Olympics, about the girl who won the boxing match. I was saying she was a man, turned out she actually is a woman, but y'all were so quick to share that. And the many plethora of other things that I shared on this good old social media website application that you all are just so quick. It's all about who can say what the fastest, who can get it out there the fastest. None of y'all take a moment to actually vet the source. And sometimes it really is just hopping off Facebook, Instagram, hopping on Google, and just taking a minute or two to see if what you read on that app is true or not. Please be responsible. Just try it. Just try it out for a couple weeks. Be responsible, man. But let me get off that soapbox really quick and speak specifically to the JCPS stuff. A lot of things I see are shared so quickly that are absolute false. I encourage you to follow vetted media sources, like established media sources. Follow the JCPS website page, follow WLKY, follow WDRB, whatever. Follow those sites, not just Louisville Hood News, not just Dear JCPS, not just whatever other pages are on social media. And I'm not saying anything is wrong with any of those non-official sites or whatever, but a lot of those posts are just from people. They're not from vetted sources. They're not from the news. They're not, from actual staff. They're just people that saw something or heard something and they posted it. And you're taking it as gospel. You're taking it as absolute truth. stop that. Take a moment just to find out if it's true or not. Ask a question or two before you hit share. Okay, please do that. Not just for me. Do it for yourself. Do it for others. Let's stop the spread of misinformation as a community. Can we please just try to chill out on that? Okay, for sanity's sake. All right. Okay, I think I'm done. I think I'm done. That's all. That's all I've got to say for tonight, man. I personally am looking forward to the school year. I'm looking forward to meeting my new kids. Gudermouth was actually my first elementary school when I became a bus driver. So when I went back there, they were very excited to see me, the staff there, the faculty there. Got to have a great relationship with the principal and the resource center director there. So I'm really enjoying being back there with them. Looking forward to my new kids, and I'm glad to have a route to my liking that doesn't have me all over the city. I'm glad that I have some layovers, some reprieve, some time to hop off the bus, stretch my legs, hop inside, grab a drink, Gatorade or something, sit for a moment, use the restroom, have a brief conversation with the principal or something like that, and then hop back on the bus and get back out to the kids. I'm looking forward to that, as I'm sure many bus drivers are. I have the only concern I have this year is Wellington Elementary. Wellington has a history of having kids that are a little bit on the rough side. So I know for me personally, even when I've had kids that have been troubled, I've never had any major issues on my bus. I set a standard from day one. I'm firm, I'm consistent, and I'm fair. So I let the kids know that I'm the bus driver that they get are basically it's determined by them. I am the bus driver you create me to be. We can be cool, we can have fun, all that good stuff as long as you follow my rules. My rules aren't crazy. Follow the rules and we good. Be respectful to each other, respectful to me, to my bus, clean up after yourselves. See, so on and so forth. Simple stuff. If y'all can do that, we're gonna have a good time. If I have to be the disciplinarian, I will. You can either love me or you can really not like Mr. Reedus. And I'm either a friend or the ops. It's totally up to you. Totally up to you. And I think that's fair for any bus driver. But a lot of that also comes from you as parents. Set the standard at home, and hopefully we won't have any problems on the bus. Okay? So I'm looking forward to a good school year. I don't have much else to say, man. I thank y'all for this year. I have some pretty dope things coming up. I'm gonna have some of the, I said I was gonna do this last year. I didn't do it as much, but I already have some yeses from some coordinators, some fellow bus drivers, some people at administrative levels at JCPS that have agreed to come on. So I want to have them on. I want y'all to hear from people outside of me. I want y'all to hear from people that are working in these positions, that are making decision makers. Influential people in the community as well. I'll have some community leaders on here, some pastors and things like that, joining me to discuss JCPS, discuss bus, discuss schools, to discuss community. So I'm looking forward to that as well. But if you have any further questions for me, please feel free to hit me up in the comments. Feel free to instant message me, direct message me if you want to. I'm more than willing to engage. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, criticism, if there's any way that I do this podcast here that you dislike, I don't mind some constructive criticism. You come at me the wrong way, I will respectfully dismiss you. If I see any comments on my page that are disrespectful, rude, any type of vulgar language, I will block you gracefully. I will respect any and everyone, but I will not have that on my page. I will not have that in my messages. I won't have that in my life. Period. Okay. Respectfully. All right. But I'm hopping off here for the night, man. I'll probably go live the first day of school that evening just to kind of talk about how it goes. Oh, that's my last thing for the night. Show grace. Show grace. Be respectful. Traditionally, every first day of school is a little bit chaotic, period. Last year, it was chaotic times 20. But the first day of school always has a level of chaos with kids not knowing where to go, at the wrong stop, this, that, and other. In the school, in the classroom, there's a level of chaos the first couple of days of school. That is absolutely normal. So please, y'all, as parents, guardians, citizens, don't hop on social media so quick when the first little infraction or something doesn't go your way or you dislike, so on and so forth. Don't hop on her like, I knew JC, I knew they was gonna. No, chill out, bro. Please, 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 please. Don't add to chaos. Don't add to decision. Don't add to all of that mess. Okay. Just have a level of patience in any issues that you have. Make it known with whomever you need to make it known to, and hopefully we can iron it out and get it fixed sooner than later. Verbalize your concerns to your bus drivers. Anything we can do, we will help. Be respectful. If something happens you don't like, do not come at us the wrong way. That's period across the board. I didn't mention this, but I'm hopping to it right now. Be respectful to your bus drivers, okay? There is a way you can be an adult and convey frustration without being disrespectful, without being rude, okay? So before you open your mouth, calm yourself down and verbalize and express yourself in a way that we can communicate civilly. I don't think that's too much to ask for. Okay, so please be that person. But again, y'all be patient for what this year is going to start off with. I'm confident that we're not going to have the issues we had last year. Right now, the routes are ending. I think on average, the last student is getting off the bus around 6:20, somewhere around there. So we're not going to be seeing 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, crazy stuff that we saw last year. I'm very confident we won't be seeing that. So let's see what happens. Let's give it a chance. And we'll move forward in all of this. I know there's a couple things I missed tonight, but I want to keep it under an hour, and I'm a little bit over an hour. So I'm going to hop off here. Thank you all again for tuning into the Bus Driver Chronicles. I appreciate each and every one of you that tune in week after week. I appreciate your engagement with my posts. I typically try to keep everything really light and fun. I try to find the levity in all things, and the things that are comical, I'll share those comical things, so on and so forth. It's wants to be a good time, but when there's time to have serious conversations, we will have those, and we'll just move throughout the year. Appreciate each and every one of you. I'm gonna log off here tonight. I will catch up with y'all either Thursday after the first day of school. I may hold off to the next day, or you may see me on Monday. We'll see. I'll let you know if I'm gonna go live. But again, thanks for tuning in to the Bus Driver Chronicles. As usual, as always, the wheels on the bus. The wheels on the bus. I haven't done it so well. The wheels on the bus will continue to go round and round. Y'all have a good one.